I think
But yeah.
Oshinoko and Frieren both show that you should just drop like an hour-long special and then serialize week to week.
Yep.
All right, I'm just going to be for real right now. Oshinoko is only good because of that first episode.
I don't think Frieren or Oshinoko are good, so.
Oh, okay.
You would be very popular in the county jail, at least.
Really? Just do like a stand-up routine or something?
They'll get inspired.
Yeah, they would. I think they would love you. But when you go to prison, I think you'd be kind of fucked.
Yeah.
No, I think because like there's a lot of black people and Latinos in prison, and they all love like Dragon Ball and like One Piece and stuff. So really, what I got to do is I just got to watch those anime, and then I'll be fine.
Sure. We'll ignore prison
we'll
politics.
ignore the repercussions of you doing that.
What if they haven't seen either of those?
Then you're fucked.
Then I'm kind of fucked. It's like, all right, well, yep, time to join a white supremacist skinhead prison gang.
Called the Weeb Crew?
Called the Weeb Crew podcast.
Let's go. I knew it.
We got to figure out how to do like a WC like gang sign with our hands.
I've actually thought about that, like as like art or something. I mean, you could do like the W,
but you'd fuck up your hand doing the.
Yeah, I don't know how you would do a C.
Unless okay, you like cross your arms and you do the C with your right hand, and then put that like to your like left side, and then put like the W then on your right side. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, logistically, I understand what you're saying. It does not make sense why we would ever encourage anybody to do these things.
No, throw up those gang signs, all right?
Imagine going to like PAX or something, and then you go like, everyone hold up the Weeb Crew sign.
Weeb Crew represent,
Well, if you Google the Weeb Crew, you do come up with a Reddit post was it Maine or Maryland?
Something like that.
Where they're asking about the Weeb Crew graffiti.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you guys are tagging all the way up in Maine.
Yeah, we're taking over.
Evidently.
We're sweeping the nation.
We haven't talked about this one. We do have stickers that you can buy off like our YouTube store or whatever. So if you want to just like, I don't know, buy a couple of those, go to your nearest like cemetery and just start putting them on like gravestones.
Yeah.
So this is what the tangent was for. Going like, yeah, we have stickers now.
We have stickers.
I mean, to be fair, we've had stickers for like nearly a year.
We've had stickers since before our Patreon. That was our first form of monetization.
Well, I didn't make the stickers for people to buy, but if you want to buy them, go for it. They're there.
Go for it. They are there.
I made them for the potentiality that we could just get like 200 like samples like shipped over to us or one of us and just take them to a convention.
Yeah.
And when you go to your convention in July or whatever fuck.
Yeah. I'll be at like Otakon and I'll just like plaster them all over like the bathroom stalls.
You can wear your balaclava or whatever the fuck. Have a sticker, kid.
As I'm like, I'm walking around like, hey, check out this podcast. Yeah, there's a QR code on it. Doesn't work.
Well, you wouldn't hand them that one. You'd hand them the one that is just the logo. And then...
No, I'd hand them the one of like the girl like covered in hot glue.
Yeah, the Weeb Crew hot glue.
And they'd be like, oh, I don't want to touch. Why is it sticky? Why is it already sticky? It's like, it's a sticker. But yeah, the stickers aren't automatically sticky. It's like, this one is.
Whoa, this is some high quality stuff. It's like there's really cum on this sticker.
As I say, standing outside of the bathroom.
You're supposed to be doing the intro. I've given like 12 fucking like segues.
I know, we've been doing this for
like 13
minutes.
It's called the Weeb Crew podcast, and you just don't do the intro. I thought you wanted to do the intros now.
Fine, I'll do the end. Welcome to the Weeb Crew podcast. I'm your host. There's your co-host and our guest.
Who are we? Are you supposed to
I don't
say?
know. You tell me.
I'm Mumi. He's Sai. We're doing an intro. This is how it works. And today we have full how do you pronounce that? Animix?
Full Animix.
Full Animix. I guess that leads us to the first question. Why is your name Full Animix? And is this like is it like a portmanteau of like anime and comics? Is that what it's supposed to be?
That was what it was originally supposed to be, because I initially had like plans to have like a little comic avatar to pop up in the corner, because I wanted to have a face to something.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, you know what if I just do this? And then I tried to do that and it just did not go well. It was so much editing. And now I boil down to the most basic edits. Yep. And it just now kind of works. It's also kind of juxtaposed, because when I did editing work, that's all I did. I did images and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like of the show, like you just screenshots?
No, like so I worked for a YouTuber and he had like character avatars, and he had so many of them, and you know he had to change each one. Yeah. And that's what I did for like a year, like last year.
Just slotting them over stuff.
Yeah.
Did you have like a stock, like we call it what is the zoomer wiggle?
Zoomer what?
So for like edits, like when we do like, I say we.
Oh, I know.
When I do like shorts, I will usually like put like a PNG, or like if I have like a picture or something, I just make it like wiggle.
Yeah,
call it the zoomer wiggle.
He had like different facial expressions. So like there was 20 different models with different expressions.
But he didn't wiggle.
No.
Let's see
the other characters that he had on that didn't have images, that's what I did.
Oh, they were like, so you're saying like when they would talk, they would bounce.
Yeah, but except for his, because his mouth like had sprites
had
that
like
opened.
like proper like flaps. Okay.
Yeah.
So this guy was like a full out like PNG tuber then.
Basically, yeah.
Had like mouth flaps and everything. God damn.
Yeah, it was a lot of work, but it was good.
Yeah.
We have like 4 stock animation, like not even animation, just 4 stock poses.
4 stock poses, and already when we try to like edit videos, it feels like too much.
I can only express joy, confusion, contemplativeness, or what is the 4th one I have? I don't even remember what the 4th one fucking is.
Like laughter.
That's joy.
No, or is that? Oh, that's a joy. Okay.
Or just like laid back and
chill. You're awkwardly shuffling, like shifting in your chair.
For anybody that doesn't know, that is an actual pose I've done. I did not submit that pose for them to draw. That's a complete coincidence, but there's a 1-to-1 picture of me doing that exact pose. And I was like, what the fuck?
They know. He knows.
He knows too much. And I guess that's when you know you have a good artist, is when they just cyber stalk you to the point they find every pose you've ever done.
like Nardwar
just stalk
style.
Like your Facebook or something. Goes like, I could do something with this.
I don't even have a Facebook. I don't know where the
it's even worse.
Your MySpace from 2003.
Oh my god!
Imagine if like I had an artist and then I do like this really abstract pose, and then the next day he goes like, "Yeah, just sketch this up," and it's the exact pose, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Is there a camera somewhere?"
Excuse me?
Like a Truman Show moment,
dude. Exactly.
Well, for those who aren't aware of your content, if you'd like to kind of do a little intro, as is per usual, and kind of explain what you do and who you are.
Do you know what I do? I don't know what I do. Anyway, so
what's my line?
What's my line? Yep. Yeah, so my name's Full Animix. I typically talk about seasonal anime a lot recently, but I also review, rant, and make fun of anime. But I haven't been doing that much recently. But I'm starting to get back in the mode.
Well, recently you've been doing your little podcast.
Why do you gotta say it like that? Why do you gotta like belittle him and be like, you're doing your little podcast?
Are you belittling me?
Yeah, I say the same thing. We're doing our little podcast.
Yeah, our little podcast.
Yeah, but mine's littler, so you just have to emphasize that it was a little.
Look,
podcast.
it's not about the size. It's about the motion.
I was gonna say it's about the row of the boat.
The motion of the ocean, not the size of your boat.
What?
It doesn't.
But even with my other podcasts, I'm not editing for that one. So I don't. It's just like work and school recently that have gotten like a bit out of control.
That's life.
But then I was doing editing work, and that really put a burner on my upload. Like my last 5 videos are spread out over a year.
Well, it's better than us.
Yeah, because we haven't really made any videos since starting this podcast, period.
Wait, what?
We haven't made any videos for our personal channels, I should say.
Oh, yeah, no.
Right, because we've been preoccupied.
It doesn't even make sense at this point. It's like, we might as well just like do stuff for the channel that will grow.
I have like that 3 Kingdoms video I've been meaning to do for like, over 2 years now.
Yeah, just make it a Weeb Crew video. It's fine.
Nah.
Yeah,
it doesn't fit the style of Weeb Crew.
I had a Chainsaw Man script like all ready to go. I even recorded for it, but like some of the things just weren't matching up, and I was getting very nitpicky about it. And then when I went to go record it again, it was after the anime awards, so I had to redo the first bit of the script because the first bit was just like, oh, Chainsaw Man is like a really good show. Too bad it came out 3 years ago, but at least it'll be in the anime awards, right, guys?
Then, yeah, no.
It already was in the anime.
And then it was in the anime awards and didn't win anything.
Didn't win anything. I think it
won 2. I think it won best Japanese voice actor.
Okay.
Or
That's
male dub voice actor, I think. Maybe it was dubbed.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen just swept every other category it was nominated in.
Yeah, because it's such a fucking pinnacle of the industry.
Yeah, can we rehash? Yeah, yes. Can we just rehash how fucking stupid it is that we're fucking voting for fall 2022 anime from like
in 2024?
Fucking.
But Mumi, recency bias.
Yeah,
recency bias my ass.
That's what
recency bullshit.
That isn't why we also just have judges to like mediate that kind of thing.
Well, I mean, the Crunchyroll Awards has never been something that has been justified around the fans.
No, well, so I mean, the first one, like, which was like 2016, I think it may have been in 2017, but for 2016 anime, I remember it was very confusing because I don't think they had like any judges that year. It was just popular vote, and Yuri on Ice won Anime of the Year. Right. What? Because it aired like that fall season, like right before the awards. So it was like hot in everyone's mind. And it basically, it beat out everything else, beat out ReZero, My Hero Academia, all that stuff. So like the next year they were like, yeah. So like the next year they were like, we're going to have judges now to make sure that, because you could still vote. Your votes don't matter, but you could still vote.
Your vote won't matter. Not really.
Yeah, it's just like the American electoral system.
You can't have anime winning Anime of the Year in the Crunchyroll Awards that are on Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was the previous year where Cyberpunk won.
Yeah,
that was a year where I was just like, wait, did the fans actually pull through on something? Holy shit.
That's kind of crazy.
I don't know, because it's like, I mean, because I think like, what was it this year? It's like the judges were like 70% of the vote.
I think 70 or 80. Yeah. Something stupid. I mean, it makes sense.
I don't know yet. Yeah, the Crunchyroll. I don't want to like rehash everything because we like talked about Alchemy and then.
No, I just wanted to talk about it was stupid.
Yeah,
it is stupid.
Screw the Crunchyroll.
Anytime
Anime
it comes
Awards.
up, we just gotta mention it's fucking stupid.
They fucking suck. That being said, if you would like to invite us on as judges, we'd be more than happy.
We'll fix
We
your
can
voting
watch
system.
through and make fun of your dumb decisions.
Like
Well-
one of the hosts of like Anime World Order was like a judge last year, or I guess this year, but whatever. So they do let podcasters on. So just saying,
We're free.
but also a plague upon all of your
You've got my
houses.
number.
my emails open. Slide in my DMs.
Send my DMs, but also go
Respectfully,
fuck
please.
yourselves.
Well, I guess getting back on the subject of your content, why did you get into making content?
No, you're making me feel really old right now.
Why?
I don't know. It was because when I initially started making videos, I was the biggest like PewDiePie fucking copycat. I even did like the unique intro that he did, but with my squeaky voice.
It's full
And it was-
animatics.
Yeah. No, not like the other channels. This is not my first channel.
Oh,
Okay.
So I did that for a little bit, got fucking bullied to shit about that, which is fair enough,
Yeah,
I would
we all
bully
have-
someone that
yeah.
did like PewDiePie intro for like my current age. And then I did a lot of video game stuff, and it was just doing video game content creation is such a fucking drag
why is that?
because you're doing the same shit. Every little kid nowadays, like 12 years old, 11 years old, wants to make YouTube content and just do it only on Fortnite. And just do like
or
really
Roblox,
basic,
yeah.
really basic gaming content, which you can do, but you're never going to get like a substantial following from.
Right.
Yeah, how are you
'Cause
gonna
I
stand
did-
out?
I did like that video game content and I got nothing.
It's all,
And
it's
which
all,
was
like, super,
fine
like,
because like I didn't mind doing that stuff and not getting any recognition.
I mean, well, I feel like video game YouTuber, whatever streamer or whatever fuck has basically just become the new like famous. Like, I feel like when I
Yeah,
was
and
growing
that-
up before,
Like 10 years
YouTube.
ago, it was the shit. All right, everyone. It was just
Oh,
like
yeah.
at that point in time when everyone just started like watching all those FaZe Clan stuff
Mhm.
and
Oh, yeah.
wanting to be like that. Wanting
right.
to do like Call of Duty videos, hitting those 360 no scopes that totally weren't
Call of Duty
staged.
videos, 60-part Let's Plays.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I only did like Call of Duty and Let's Plays. Even on like my full Animix channel, the channel that was renamed before that had a lot of Call of Duty content and Let's Plays. And I don't think any of them broke 50 views.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
it's
about right.
I mean, because I don't know, what were you doing this as like a teenager or whatever, little kid?
Yeah, I think I was around 16 when I started
Yeah.
full anime, like my previous channel.
Yeah, and at that age, you don't really have I feel like you don't have a good grasp of like what makes for like a good YouTube video in terms of like
Yeah.
construction. Because I guess an interesting example of this it would be like, have you ever like looked at like Mr. Beast's like really old videos?
Yeah, and it's kind of jarring sometimes.
Yeah, well, because it is literally just that. It is literally just like Call of Duty like playthrough Minecraft type shit from like 11 fucking years ago. And it's like, oh yeah, because like what baffles me is like Mr. Beast is like my age. He's like 26, 27. He's not much older than me. So he would have been doing this like at the same time like I would have been doing it, where it's like, okay, you're like fucking like 15 years old. You want to make YouTube content, but you don't really know how to put a video together in an entertaining way because you're
Yeah.
a dumb 15-year-old, 16-year-old. So you just kind of upload you just doing shit, and you think that's what makes it entertaining or interesting.
I've been
Even
wanting
though-
I've been wanting to like preach about this for ages because I've been through that same scenario. Like
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a following, which I'm kind of proud of, because in because like 10 years ago, I would not think I would have this following because that's not what my content reflected.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of days you get a lot of creators that just pop off, like Queso and Jinxie. Those guys popped off suddenly, and that's just what happens. That's literally what happened with me with Black Clover. And if it wasn't for Black Clover, I'd still probably not be making content. And I wouldn't be at the following that I am now because I just reached a certain audience that gave me people that would watch my videos.
I mean, that's
I get that too.
I was gonna say that's what Joe always says. He's like, it just takes one video.
Yeah, like,
all it takes.
But it takes 8 years to get a video right.
Yeah.
Like you can't really just make a video and then expect it to pop off straight away.
It doesn't take 8 years necessarily.
It takes about like a certain amount of time.
It takes a number of attempts though.
It takes some experience. It takes some because if you're older and start making content, you probably have a better grasp of general things in like a 14-year-old software. Right? Yeah.
Also, you're not going through puberty, so your voice is like, I don't want to say no longer annoying, because I have an annoying voice, but it becomes less annoying, certainly. Yeah,
your voice becomes much deeper with puberty.
Yeah,
much deeper. You definitely don't sound like a teenage fuckboy when you're like in your 30s.
You don't sound like Morty.
Yeah, like
Rick?
when I look back at some of the videos on this channel, like all the gaming videos, my voice sounds a lot more higher pitched. Like it kind of sounded like I was putting on a higher pitched voice than what it was.
Oh yeah.
Part of that could have just been like
literally they talk like that.
Yeah, part of that could have just been like how the mix of the audio or something, and you didn't.
Oh, that's true.
Part of that also could have been like the channels that I was watching that I was basing off my content of being like energetic kind of content creators.
They're like speaking from like their embouchure, like their nose kind of shit. And there's
like a bunch of fucking drama kids. Or something.
Hey guys, welcome to that kind of thing.
Also, just talking into, and this is like, I feel like this is just unacceptable now. It's like talking into the shitty like Logitech headset mic.
Yeah.
I think when I started, I had it was like a Samsung microphone.
Yep.
And
old school
it was like
mics.
$70. I'm like, dude, this shit looks fucking sick. This looks like one of those old microphones that all like the old people used to use.
Oh God.
Then sounds
shit. Like garbage. Yeah.
Well, that's how you know you're professional.
Yeah.
You look
and then I went from that to a Blue Yeti, Audio Technica, and now I'm on a Shure.
Yep, there you. That is, I think that's, you just described like the general progression of like what microphones people have been using over like the past 10 years. I remember the period of time when it felt like everyone on YouTube was using like a Blue Yeti or Snowball or something, some blue microphone basically.
Yeah. And then 5 years later, they go like, damn, that microphone sounds like shit.
That microphone sounds like shit. However, that's fucking ass microphone that every podcast uses, we'll go with that.
Well, I don't actually use the SM7B. I'm using the MV7.
Okay.
I'm a bit different. I'm a bit of
a renegade. I'm a bit of a rebel.
Isn't that the one you use as well?
A bit of a rebel.
I have the whatever the fucking basic bitch one is.
Okay.
I don't like having to do research to buy shit. I just fucking want to get my shit, have it sound good.
This is good. All right, I'll buy it.
There you go. It's not a fucking goddamn project.
Let me see. What's the meanwhile, I'm even more of a basic bitch. This isn't even like a microphone you're really supposed to talk into. I'm using a Shure SM57.
That's still a microphone. Like
it is, yeah, but it's like a microphone that you use for like drums and amplifiers. I mean, it works perfectly fine as a podcast mic, yeah.
So, but that's also a big thing that I see nowadays. When people want to start doing YouTube, they just do not give a fuck about quality.
Oh no! I mean, we say that about YouTube. It's literally the same thing with podcasts as well.
Yeah, imagine starting a podcast and you're using like a webcam microphone.
That happens.
That sounds like the most cardinal sin ever.
Yeah. Well, because like, and I was thinking about this last night, is like starting a podcast has become the new, like, let's start a band. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like just something you do like with
It's
your
like
friends.
the 80s equivalent of a band.
Yeah.
Well, again, it all goes back to like you're putting the cart before the horse, where it's like, oh, I want to be famous. Where before, like in the 80s, you're like, oh, let's start a band because we'll be famous. Like, you don't give a fuck about music. Like, you like music. It sounds cool. But, like, you don't give a fuck about it. But you just want to be famous. Like, so you cut the middleman out. It's like, oh, I don't have to learn how to play a fucking instrument. I can just go on a microphone and just start talking like I do every day with my friends. Let's just start a podcast.
And it's not really that easy.
I don't have too many friends in real life that talk about anime. So when I met Hugo, we sort of just gelled really quickly. Mm-hmm. And it was just something to scapegoat to talk about anime. Because I don't want it to be like a big podcast thing. I just needed to like relieve my anime stress.
Yeah.
Because doing it on my own YouTube is too much fucking work.
Had to relieve this pent up anime frustration.
Pent up anime frustration or otherwise I'm going to unleash it on my coworkers.
Yeah, I'll start fucking talking in Weebinese.
And to blow my metaphorical anime load.
Oh god.
But I guess speaking of anime and your content, why did you? So you started doing game content. Why the switch to like anime content? I think your oldest stuff on this channel is like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, it's 4 years ago I started making anime content. Fuck, I feel old.
Yeah.
Damn.
I don't know why you feel old. You can't say
I'm not even that old. I'm sorry.
Man, I feel old.
Because I mean, it's literally like thinking about the fact that like, man, COVID lockdowns were already like 4 years ago. Fuck.
Yeah, that added 4 years to my life.
Yeah.
I'm basically 26.
And 2020 simultaneously felt like the longest year of all time, but it also feels like it wasn't that long ago either.
Exactly.
It's kind of fucked up to think about.
It's like a fucking cultural event.
Well, that's just because like you're getting older. Like 2010 doesn't feel that long ago to me.
No, not to me either. And then people say they're born in 2010. I'm like, no, you're not. Stop fucking lying to me.
Yeah, there's probably someone. There could be someone who was born in 2010 listening to this right now.
One of my half nephews was born in 2010. I'm like, ugh.
My brother was born in 2009.
It's disgusting.
So the message, this episode, the theme of this episode is stop having kids.
Don't grow up.
Stop having children. No, sorry.
Be born in the 2000s like a normal person.
Don't grow up. Remain a Toys R Us kid forever. All right. We're gonna keep that company from going bankrupt again. Or
how
maybe
are they
it's
not
just
bankrupt?
I don't know.
They're back?
I think maybe it's. I think it's. I think they went bankrupt and then like they came back.
Where?
Please tell me where.
I must go.
Yeah, no, I mean, Wikipedia says Toys R Us is an American toy retailer, so it doesn't say was. Yeah, so it was brought back in August of 2021. I guess they performed like a necromantic ritual or something.
Where the fuck? Where?
I have no idea.
I feel like I gotta do that. Like after this podcast, I'm gonna go fucking see where the nearest Toys R Us is.
Please don't go to your local Toys R Us movie. Yeah, don't go into the Toys R Us movie.
I'm just curious where the fuck they would have built one.
It's like in the most
where the fuck
spot known to man.
No one goes anywhere. Who buys toys anymore? You buy off fucking Amazon.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh fuck! Now you're just reminding me of like toy catalogs were a thing you'd go through before Christmas. Does that exist anymore? God damn it!
Does the Wells Fargo wagon still exist? I want to order my tub from the Sears catalog.
What the fuck was that?
That's what you sound like.
Want to buy some lard?
No, toy catalogs were fucking awesome because you could see all the toys you were too poor to have.
Made for
you could imagine yourself having them and then kind of derive joy from that.
They're made for an easy
imagine
Christmas
going into
list.
the store and seeing those toys for real. Yeah, that's overrated.
Oh yeah,
that involves leaving your house. It's why toy YouTubers became such a big thing.
That is the one thing on this fucking app that I just do not understand. How like kids channels just get popular without any repercussions whatsoever.
Oh yeah, it's like they like
Yeah, because like you're telling me this 4-year-old made his channel and just got like 50 million subscribers, and there's just no sus shit going on behind it. Yeah, bullshit.
And like they're either an industry plant or this is run by like a cabal of pedophiles.
Exactly. There's got to be something wrong with it.
I feel like in like because there was that recent thing like with Nickelodeon and like Dan Schneider and all that, where it was like coming out like about like all this like horrific abuse going on set for like iCarly and Drake and Josh and stuff. And I feel like in 10 to 15 years, we're going to have a similar one, but for like toy YouTube channels where it's like, yeah, little kids just playing with toys. And it's like something about this feels bad. I can't quite put my finger on it, but if I were a parent, I would not let my kids do that.
Recording themselves playing with toys?
No. Yeah, no playing with toys. They need to dedicate like all of their time to prayer and studying the Bible.
Right. As you do.
But also, not just like, not like, I don't know, just like filming them, just playing with toys and like running around and stuff. Because one, I feel like that may also just like do like give them a weird perception of the world mentally. But then it's also like, again, I don't know if I would really trust the people running those channels. That's
the thing. I don't know why you would want to put your kid out there in that way.
Vanity, I mean, that is literally it. Like,
I think it's less Hollywood, like vanity, and it's more like living your life, like living your dreams through your kids.
Yeah, living vicariously through your kids, where it's like, I mean, because I read that fucking Jeanette McCurdy autobiography memoir thing. I'm glad my mom died. Like, however many, like a while ago now.
Yeah, we talked about it in our Some of the Gods video.
Yeah, and that video was basically that book was literally just like, mom trying to live vicariously through her daughter.
Yeah, I'm glad her mom died too.
Yeah, anime.
Yes.
Anime
speaking of pedophilia and child abuse,
no.
Do you know who Satomu Miyazaki is?
Oh my god.
That was a terrible
angry
segue.
letters again.
Angry letters again sent to. Hold on, what's the address of the White House?
Oh my god. Well, so you mentioned your Black Clover video and how it blew up, and on the subject of content on YouTube and like not like things blowing up and shit, you were talking about like how you were kind of discouraged making like anime content. And I immediately just was assuming that you were talking about like how it's hard to just generate any kind of audience in the anime space. But in the video, you're just talking about like, oh, it's hard because you have to like keep up with like watching anime and balance like the consumption and like actually watching what you're talking about with spending the time to edit and make something you're talking about.
Yeah.
But
yeah, kind of stupid opinion right there. Who said that? Not me.
Definitely wasn't.
No, it was my body double. Yeah, I think the point that I tried to get across there wasn't really clear. I've been wanting to do like a video recently, just clearing up a bunch of stuff, doing a bit of an update because it is my 50th video. And I thought, I could do a bit of a milestone, something. The main problem is that doing anime content is very discouraging because of copyright. It's the main thing recently that has burnt me out because I had a very bad experience with it because I was on a bit of a roll for a little bit after that Black Clover video. Quintuplets came out, popped off some reason, don't know how that happened. Then Mushoku Tensei talked about Black Clover again, talked about Radiant. And then before I uploaded that spring video, I made a video on Vivi's Fluorite Eye song. And I thought it was the most underrated anime I've ever seen in my life. And instead of my series of doing like an underrated gem, I called it the underrated gem because that's what it was. It was such a good show. No one talked about it. And I wanted to get my opinion about it. not even 3 days later, I got striked.
Yeah.
And that video got blocked and removed, and I lost that video. And it fucking hurt, because before I could upload whatever I want and there'll be no repercussions. But since I had a following, someone manually found that video and took it down. So it wasn't just like it got flagged from copyright. It passed all that. It was uploaded. It had like 200 views. Then someone found it and manually striked it.
Yeah.
And that really put a dampener on my upload schedule and just making videos.
Did you not have like a chance to like challenge it or anything?
I challenged it. They didn't do it.
Oh, rip.
Yeah, so
like what was the problem exactly? Like was it just like
I honestly don't know. They don't even fucking say.
Yeah.
I think the whole anime I think itself was owned by Sony, because that's who striked me.
right.
It's such a crapshoot too, because some companies are much more chill about YouTube content than others. Like obviously, if you're talking about Toei, you might as well just nail yourself to the cross.
Yeah, because I talked about Mark and his situation, and it's probably the main reason why I haven't talked about One Piece or Dragon Ball.
It's like you're making it so no one wants to like talk about your content, like the stuff that you're making on these platforms, because you're just like, you have everyone basically living in fear because you don't seem to understand what the content is. Like again, like it's like, you know, they're technically within their right, sure, but it's like, why do they think that benefits them to take like down like a video talking about One Piece, or like I can understand like taking something down if it's like literally just like a complete re-upload of an episode, but even like an episode like synopsis or like an explanation of what happened during an episode, it's like I don't see how you really benefit from taking that down, really.
Yeah, because it's the biggest thing that I've nitpicked about YouTube and their way of copyright. You're intentionally taking away free publicity for your show. Yeah. And you're just fine with that. Because you want to make like a little extra buck from like channels that just don't even make much money from it.
Right.
Because I think what initially happened with that VV video, it was demonetized, but I still wanted to upload it because it got cleared through like blocks and stuff. Because, you know, like I wanted people to like look at it and go like, you know what, this show kind of fire, kind of fucking sick. So I uploaded it anyway, and then it just got blocked. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just not great.
And it's like, at least because we don't do this as a job, Mumi and I. So when we put out a video, if there's like some sort of like copyright claim on it, if someone else wants to make money off one of the videos that we put up, I think one of them is just owned by like we got like a Radiohead copyright or something. So if Tom York or whoever wants to make money off of a fucking anime video that we made, sure, it's not our livelihood. I would much rather the video just be out there for people to see and at least get exposure off of it.
I could just cut, because it's literally just like a 6-second gag in our Mushoku Tensei video. I literally could just cut it out. It's like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, fuck it.
And that, that's what boiled down to me. Like after that VV video, I just could not give a shit if a video was monetizable in any sort of way. I just wanted it up, because putting through all that work of recording, editing, scripting, all that stuff, and then just to have it blocked and like continuously find different clips to put over it was so exhausting for me personally. I know for some people they get really on that grind and like produce content continuously about anime, and there are channels that do that and have like a really good system for that. But for me, it's literally just me, and like it really sucked. That video really sucked for me, and it reflected my whole attitude towards making videos.
What would you say your attitude is toward making videos?
I like making videos. I've always liked making videos. Making anime content now just feels a bit more like a chore. Because there what was it? I think when winter of 2023 came out, I did not make a video on spring and skipped straight to summer. Because making that spring video felt like the biggest chore in the world. Just getting all the clips, getting this. Well, I don't really script those videos, but like making the video itself was very easy. Getting those clips for those videos on YouTube, because I don't give a fuck, getting them from like undubbed, unsubtitled websites. Yeah. Doing all that, having it all done, finished, edited and stuff, you know, feeling good, getting like unmonetized and blocked. I'm just like, oh, not this shit again. And then just going through that cycle. That's literally what happened with winter, and I just did not want to go through that with spring.
Yeah.
I'm saying.
On top of that, you know, having to at least like, I don't know, check out and go through and watch some stuff from a season in order to talk about that as well. Especially it's like, I mean, this season at least, I wouldn't have a shortage of things to talk about by any means. There's anything too much fucking anime coming out this season that I want to watch.
But the question is it to feel like that because we're watching more, or are we watching more because there are a lot of good shows?
I have no idea. You'll find out if we keep doing this.
This season particularly, I'm not watching too many shows. Like I'm watching Slime because like I've watched the past 2 seasons and I really like Slime. Mushoku Tensei is just fucking cinema, and I fucking love that shit. Like, man, when me and Hugo did our recording yesterday, we spent like 20 minutes talking about Mushoku Tensei without an episode of Mushoku Tensei to talk about.
Huh.
It is a good show.
It's a good show.
I like it probably too much. Like, I think I would have a crippling addiction to that show if it like the whole thing was all ready for me to consume.
Yeah, just binge right through it.
Yeah, I would not leave my house. Like I would just go on like forums and like Reddit and stuff and go like, have you guys watched Mushoku Tensei? It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's all your channel becomes, is just Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, just only talk about Mushoku Tensei. And then I think MHA and Data Live are the only shows that I'm watching right now. There's other shows that I want to watch, like Go Go Loser Ranger is a show that I've been eyeing off because it looks really funny.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, and then I gave some shows a good try, like Voice Actor Radio. I watched that somehow. And Grandma and Grandpa and what was the other show? Misfit. Those were the shows that I gave a shot. Oh, and Moonlit Fantasy. Holy shit.
So I'm watching like 15 shows this season.
I want to self-ML. Oh god,
and we have fucking more. You only named one of them.
Oh my god.
And it's like, Jesus Christ. And then
I mean, I'm not watching Demon Slayer or Konosuba or Kaiju.
I'm not watching those either. I ain't watching Kaiju.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Kaiju number 8.
Kaiju number 8, we're all watching that. I'm watching...
What the fuck are we watching, Mumi?
So, if we count carryovers, we got Dungeon Meshi. We're watching Train to the End of the World. Hibike Euphonium Season 3. Spice and Wolf. Windbreakers, Girls Band Cry, Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, The Fable, and then Bartender, Mysterious Disappearances, and then a bunch of
Viral Hit, Whisper Me a Love Song, Spice and Wolf,
said that one,
Condition Called Love,
that one too.
Yeah, and then like a thing for me recently, I just don't watch as many shows as I did before. Because when I went back and watched my first ever a view, as you could say, I was watching a lot of fucking shows. Yeah. And I was just like, that all sounds exhausting.
So I think
we put together a system that works for us. At least like for us.
Like you can like watch as many shows as you want and have like a system and stuff. It's just a lot of shows that I watch. Like, I don't know what it is. I feel like I've given so many shows a good try over the years that I just know how a lot of these shows are going to pan out.
I feel like part of it is how you
especially with those
consume stuff.
isekai shows.
I feel like part of it is how you consume things, because
True.
like I remember when I kind of first got back into seasonals. I've talked about this before, so I won't go into it. But like I watched like 20 something shows in a season. Like I peaked out at like 24. And when I was watching them back then, it was because I had more time. But like I didn't necessarily enjoy most of them. I mean, like they were fine to watch because I had the time to do it, and like there were some shows that was like, oh, it's whatever, but like don't mind giving it the fair shake or whatever. Whereas like now I feel like I approach shows differently for the most part, where something that I might have approached like a lot of these shows this season I think are like were good regardless. But I feel like sometimes I'll watch a show that I might not necessarily think is like the greatest on like a kind of more superficial or second layer, like as far as just like straight writing or characterization or animation or whatever. But there might be something like an aspect of it that's interesting to me. Like Zom 100 is a good example. I didn't think it was a good show. It was fine. It didn't really do anything for me visually. The writing was kind of just whatever. But there was like the interesting aspect of like watching an Eastern depiction of kind of a Western sort of apocalypse story and the kind of influences that it had because it is coming from that perspective, where it kind of overlapped with like Isekai. And so it was interesting.
Yeah.
We made a whole video on it where it was interesting for me to go and kind of look and see how like they kind of the two lineages kind of diverged into this point almost. So like now I consume things on a level where I find things interesting in shows that I would have previously kind of just wrote off as being like mid or whatever the fuck. So I definitely think it depends kind of where you're at as far as like, I don't want to say like your anime
what you
journey,
want out of anime
but
and where you're coming from.
yeah. Like I feel like it's something you can develop. Like it's not something that's just like, oh, you don't consume anime this way, you're just fucking shit. But it's just like a mentality of like you develop over time where you're like looking at things differently than just kind of, oh, this is poor writing, so I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and usually when I watch shows, I don't give a fuck about writing. Like, but also last year for me was kind of a shit year for anime. Like as a whole,
it was okay. It was
not
very
just
top heavy.
I'm not talking about just the shows that came out, just how it came out, because you guys probably know this. A lot of shows came out at a certain time but did not finish until like 2 seasons later.
Oh yeah,
because of production. That happened with Zone 100, and it's the main reason why I did not finish that show, because I just did not know when that show was going to finish. And that's also a thing with me. I just don't finish shows often. Like it's a really weird thing that I do. I've watched shows to its entirety and then just don't watch the last 2 episodes. I don't know why. I just know how it's going to finish. And then I've had this like, I don't know. Recently, I've just been going through that for some reason. And it's very weird. And that's happened like for the past 2 years. But then there was Zone 100, there was Misfit 2, there was Nier Automata. That shit fucking sucked because I was really enjoying Nier, and then it just goes like, yeah, we're going to take a break for 3 months.
But we don't know when we'll be back.
We don't know when we'll be back. And then just randomly they just release all 4 episodes at once. I'm like, all right,
what?
Fucking shove it down my throat. Thank you.
Thanks, mistress.
Yeah,
or shit, was part 6 2023 or 2022?
2021.
I think it was both.
2022.
I think it was 2021 and 2020.
I think there might have been, I don't remember. The first
This
season
was part 1 and part 2.
There's
There's 3
classic
parts.
like Netflix jail situation.
I don't know.
Or no, not I guess not Netflix jail, but it's like it was released in such a way that
There's released in batches, and that kind of killed the hype.
So it didn't really
people
have any
complained
sustained hype behind it.
about. Right.
Yeah,
I guess like last year
that killed my hype for Zone 100. Just
Oh, yeah.
having an ambiguous like time of when episodes were going to come out, it
Yeah.
really put a dampener on me.
Yeah. Or another example like last year is like Pluto, which is kind of like that's a I would say that's definitely like a hidden gem basically because it came out, it dropped on Netflix, no one talked about it.
I watched like an episode of Pluto. That's all I did. Just
One
need to watch
episode.
the rest of it.
But it's like,
Damn.
well, it drops all at once. So it's like, I think if you released that first episode and then a week later do the second episode, and then a week after that, it's a novel idea I'm working on where you release a TV show on a weekly schedule rather than putting it all on your streaming platform all at once.
You can do that.
I don't think many people have really thought. I think that it's a successful model that might work to.
I think I've seen
promote a
that.
show.
I've seen that before.
I think it's like maybe. I think it's like how
no,
like,
I remember now. I remember when I saw it. Oh yeah, the last 10 years of anime. That's what they did.
I want to say, like, do you remember like those like things called like televisions? Like cable.
What?
Remember?
Television?
Like when you, yeah, well, because like remember you would used to have like like your TV, and then you would run this thing into the back of the TV, this like wire, and
Yeah,
you
there's
would watch.
three wires.
Yeah, you would watch
Wires?
this thing called cable television. And it worked like that, where you couldn't just watch whatever you wanted, whatever, like you couldn't just watch whatever you wanted whenever you wanted. You had to like, it would come out at a specific time on a specific day on a specific channel, and then you would wait to watch it. And it would come out once per week. And then, you would then like, if you had coworkers or friends watching that same show, you would then talk about it on like a weekly basis.
Around the water cooler specifically.
This is I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
this is like a thing from like 50 years ago or something. It's not really. It's kind of mostly forgotten about.
The ancient art of watching television.
Yeah. So I think if you
I
had
still
something
watch
like,
TV.
do you really?
Yeah, I do. It sucks.
That is, I have not watched cable TV in probably.
But
Shit.
the way that I watch TV, I like see a
Years.
show and I go like, oh, this is pretty cool. Then go on the internet and try and find the rest of the season.
Oh yeah, I kind of do that now with almost like if I go to like a record store, I will just like pick up random records and be like, this seems interesting, and then I'll just go with it. I don't care.
I thought you were gonna say you like wrote it down on a notepad and just like downloaded it when you got home.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
just
say
don't-
you
oh,
buy
yeah, I
the
just
record
don't buy
and
the
go like, oh, I
record.
wonder what else they've made, and then just go on their fucking Spotify.
Guys, fuck your local record store. All right, they're all stealing money from you. They like if you ever heard like an orphanage burning down, that was almost certainly perpetrated by someone who owned a record store either at that time or some point in the past.
Man, I always knew not to trust the record companies.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
here
they're
at the
always a
Weeb
bit
Crew are
sus. How are they
firmly
still in business?
anti-record store.
They have to be doing some shady shit.
If in order for a records, well, no, because like vinyl's like back now as like a physical media.
Yeah, it's back.
We're so
Um,
back.
Or so- oh yeah, but so yeah,
So bad.
releasing like something like Pluto all at once on Netflix, basically, I feel like killed any hype because it's a suspense show. It's a mystery. So
Yeah.
you releasing every episode, if you released one episode a week, you would have people like talking about it, and like I could see hype building up over the course of its run. Like that's like what happened with like Odd Taxi, for example. But no, you just drop it all at once, and it's like, well,
Yeah,
I know everything
could you
that happens. There's
imagine?
nothing to talk
Could you
about.
imagine like all of Demon Slayer dropped at once?
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you that show would not be talked about as much as it did.
Yeah.
Because the build up to episode like what was it, 19, where everyone and their mother started talking about it.
Oh yeah.
Like you wouldn't get that. And it's because of that build up that people started giving it a shot and trying it.
Yeah, or I mean, you do have stuff like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, where they come out and they're massively successful for a 2-week period. It's not sustained. It burns really hot really quickly, and then it goes out.
Yeah, I feel like
Um,
Cyberpunk was a bit of a special case though. When
Yeah.
people watched Cyberpunk, they went to go play the game. And then that game
Oh,
had
yeah.
a big spike. And
Well,
then
that's the
people went
thing.
back to the anime as well.
Cyberpunk had a pre-established franchise. Scott Pilgrim, and you had the movie, the graphic novel, video games, all of that. So these are already properties people were familiar with as well. Whereas you compare that to something like Frieren, for example, where I feel like I just saw like there was already like hype before the anime came out. Like people were familiar with the manga, but it really just seemed to blow up as the show went along.
Because I think that shows the biggest definition of a slow burn.
Yeah.
And like enjoying it because it's so well paced, and you can just join along. It's a journey.
Not really it's not a binge watch show.
No.
It's something like Cyberpunk Edge Runners that you could at least blast through that pretty quickly.
Cyberpunk is a fucking fever dream.
Yeah. Whereas
then
Frieren
is like watching a candle blow out.
Yeah.
You're waiting for it, and then once it blows out, you're just like, yes, let's go.
Let's go.
Huge. Fucking huge.
I think Oshinoko and Frieren both show that you should just drop like an hour-long special and then serialize week to week.
Yep.
All right, I'm just going to be for real right now. Oshinoko is only good because of that first episode.
I don't think Frieren or Oshinoko are good, so...
Oh, okay. We won't go into that then.
I mean, Oshinoko.
I like
Oshinoko.
Oshinoko. It's just that first episode was so good. Like, I think
we want to talk about like hype going into something. I feel like Oshinoko was like, I would say it's pretty close to like the level of something like Chainsaw Man had like before, like in the run up to its anime, where it's just this massive fucking thing everyone's hyped for.
Because I didn't know much about Oshinoko. Like I saw the Anime Man, he talked about it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be brutally honest. I did not listen to a fucking word he said in that video. I was just going like, this shit looks fucking dumb. All right. Like the cover looked really nice. That was all I was focusing on.
Every time I see the cover, I just think
design.
Well, I see the character design. I just think this is like some weird Dojin version of Lin Minmei from fucking Macross.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Once he said like the English title for Oshinoko, I'm just like, oh, it's one of those shows.
Oh,
and then
the
he
English
described
title
the plot, and I'm
fucking
just
sucks.
like, what the fuck?
It's like what is it like?
The Idol
Children. Yeah,
the Idol I Sim for.
My Idol's Child.
I thought it was just called Oshinoko. I've never heard it actually called anything else.
There's like
that's
different
the thing,
English names
the fucking
for it.
English title sucks.
Yeah, that's why they don't use the English title.
Yeah, Mother and
Besides,
Children.
it's easy to pronounce.
Yeah, Oshinoko.
You don't want to just keep saying, "Oh yeah, I love the show where the idol simps." Yeah, that's a good show.
Yeah, idol simp children.
I love simping idols. Yeah,
idol simp children. What a fucking name.
But I mean, Oshinoko is such a. Oshinoko really makes sense for why that first episode was like 90 minutes long, because it has such a bizarre setup. It's almost like it's almost like it was like written by like Neil Gaiman or something, where it's like, all right, here's what these characters' grandparents were doing. We're gonna see them live out their whole lives, then they're gonna die, and then we're gonna get to the actual fucking story.
Yeah.
It's very convoluted setup.
Yeah, well, that's
but
again,
that's
like fucking Sandman.
Like, imagine if you had like 3 episodes or 4 episodes to depict the like prologue towards Oshinoko. It wouldn't work. People would get bored, but people would sit down and binge through that first episode and go like, "This shit is fucking interesting. I want to know more about it."
And then you hit it with the ending, and you're like, "Oh, so that's what the show is about."
Oh, there's
Excuse me, what?
Hell yeah!
Because even that first episode, that first 90-minute episode, it like resets itself like 2 or 3 times, like over the course, because it starts off, and then you get like that first reset, and then you have the second thing going on, and then it basically resets itself again, and it's like, I don't know where the story is going. People just keep dying.
People just keep dying,
and it's like, then I'm back, bitch.
And then no one dies again. They just could not stop dying that first episode and then never die again.
Like, oh, those two characters died? Oh no. Oh wait, there's another one? No.
Another one.
Another one.
You said you didn't care about the writing. You did mention in like you did like a 3,000 subscriber Q&A. You mentioned that you were really into like cinematography and film and stuff. Does that play like how much does that plays into like your enjoyment of anime if you don't?
It does not play into it at all.
Oh, okay.
Because there's some shows where they focus on the writing a lot. And those shows are really, really good shows. Like Beastars is a show that is very dialogue heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like you have to kind of pay attention with that. Some other shows that I can just like flick on and just enjoy anyways. It doesn't, I can't really have like a critical film brain when watching anime. It just does not work. Could you imagine having a critical brain for Kill la Kill?
Yeah.
Not,
I mean,
not
there's
in the
probably
way
a scenario
that,
where you could, but like,
right. Well, not in the way of like, I'm not going to approach Kill la Kill in the same way I'm going to fucking like approach a Tarkovsky film or anything like that.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna have a critical brain for Kill la Kill and The Godfather. It's just not gonna work.
Yeah, they're fundamentally different kinds of stories.
There's also
in the first
some
place.
shows that I like having a critical brain of. Like Devilman Crybaby was such a good show, and then I thought about all like the oppression and prejudice that goes on in that show. I'm like, damn, this show is actually kind of fucking deep. Like, what the fuck?
I would say the same about like something like Kill la Kill or like I don't know, Gurren Lagann.
Kill la Kill had like those themes as well, but it wasn't like the main thing. Like people just wanted to see like silly people. It wasn't how I saw it. That's not how I watched Kill la Kill.
It's a very kind of traditional Imaishi sort of Gainax kind of work where like you watch Evangelion, you can enjoy it on like that surface level of just like the robots and
don't get me started on Ava. Do not fucking get me started on that shit. That shit's like a bad memory.
Okay. You
not
can watch
the anime itself. It's me talking about Ava. That's what it is.
Well, you can watch like Gurren Lagann and enjoy. Enjoy is just like a nice mecha show, and then there's like layers to it. Like Fully Cooley is like that too. Like I feel like a lot of like Gainax and Maishi's kind of stuff have that same kind of.
You say the same about like Gunbuster and Diebuster.
Yeah, like you can enjoy it. Like you don't have to engage with it on like a deeper level to enjoy it, but there is stuff going on a deeper level if you want to, lift it up a little bit.
On the surface, there are shows that you can enjoy, but then there are also like dark meanings behind show. Like one good one that I wasn't expecting was Railgun. I fucking love Railgun.
I've heard some good things about Railgun.
I love
that show so much. I fucking hate Index. That shit is boring as hell. But like the second season of Railgun was so fucking dark for no reason whatsoever. I mean, there was reason, but it was a really good show because I got invested into these characters, and then that second season came along, and it was just talking about all like the freaky cloning shit, and I'm like, you know what, this is kind of cool. I fuck with this.
This gets existential. Why am I here?
Why am I here?
Just to suffer.
Who am I?
I don't know. So, I guess like something like Binshotan.
No.
Binshotan is here. I'll show you the poster.
I feel like that's not even a question. You should.
I don't know. I don't want to be like making assumptions.
I don't think anybody is going to know what the fuck Binshotan is, except like
it's a
me.
Good show, all right.
Roger knows what Binshotan is.
I'm getting some Made in Abyss vibes right now.
It's not really like Made in Abyss. It's the same It's directed by Kazuhiro Furuhashi, who did most recently he's done like Spy Family, but he also directed Dororo, the new one, Gundam Unicorn, Hunter x Hunter 99,
the original
Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah.
A lot of cool stuff. And then he just this is like one of like the lesser known works he's done. And it's interesting because it is like a very like moe cutesy kind of show, but it does almost have this kind of like a bittersweet kind of undercurrent to it. Because the main girl is effectively just homeless and living in the woods alone. And it's never really directly addressed. But it is kind of like, oh, that's sad.
It's like Fruits Basket.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, this is like,
Yeah, it's pretty kind of similar to that.
yeah, it's like, because it's where it's like, I'm not like, it's not actively like presenting this as like a kind of like unhappy or like unpleasant, depressing situation. But then you think about it a little bit more and you're like, oh, this is kind of like, I feel bad now.
Yeah, this kind of fucked up.
It's kind of thing in the background where like,
yeah,
so when something like mundane and like good happens, it makes it better because you're like, oh,
yeah,
this other shit's going on. So this is like 10 times better than it would be if it was happening to fucking, I don't know, Jaden Smith or something.
Ian Smith. Hey, all right, don't make assumptions. He's had a hard life. All right.
He's had a hard
Have you
life.
seen the Karate Kid? Have you seen After Earth? Those
Have you
movies
seen that
fucking
Key
suck.
and Peele sketch?
All right. All right. He had to go through like this whole planet to like rescue his dad because they were like stranded. And, you know, that's a hard thing to do for a kid.
He must have gone through a lot to
Yeah.
say shit
all
like,
right.
how can we see if our eyes are real? Or where the fuck how are beers real if our eyes aren't real? That's what it was.
That's a dated reference.
Dated.
Are you calling me old?
I am old.
I think we're all on here.
He didn't.
We're
He
old.
didn't have to say it. It's just
For our audience,
explicitly implied.
Our audience of people who were born between the years 2008 and 2010.
Well, this is an anime podcast.
This is an anime podcast.
What? No.
So your content, do you think it's like changed how you kind of approach or appreciate anime at all?
There's some shows where I feel like I would have hated them more back in the old days. back in my day.
Back in the old days.
The one video that I really don't like is the Evangelion video.
Oh.
Because my opinion on Eva has changed a lot from that video. Because my predetermines on Eva was very skewed because I watched one person talk about it and depicted my own opinion from that.
Oh.
Because when I watched Ava, like everyone else, I did not know what the fuck was going on. All right, I needed some clarification going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I watched that guy's video, it sort of just clicked to me going like, oh yeah, none of this makes any sense. And that was my like opinion on Ava. Like it was just a very weird show. I didn't get a lot of the things.
Yeah.
But then I rewatched Ava. And I still felt like that. So then I rewatched it again. And then I don't mind Ava now. Like I get a lot of the things that it tries to do. I don't appreciate all the things that it tries to do. I feel like a lot of the fans really predetermine that a lot, which is fine. But it's a show that I've grown to appreciate, especially with the newer movies. I really like those movies. I think it's a good way to like continue on Ava without making like a reboot, which is something that I don't think they could do with Ava.
Well, nah, especially because like, I mean, there's so many different Evangelion adaptations between, you know, the TV anime, the movies, a couple video games, a lot of manga. And so they're all just different stories. So it wouldn't make sense to do it like a Hunter x Hunter 2011 or just doing like a complete like clean remake where it is basically just the same story. You would want to do stuff that is different, go in a different direction. I don't know if I necessarily like the direction those movies go in, but
yeah, like it's debatable. It's a bit of like a dad movie sometimes with the Ava movies, where it's just like mindless action and you don't know what's going on.
Yeah, that's some of my least favorite stuff in those fucking movies.
yeah, no, my fucking dad loves Jason Statham, but I don't like Jason Statham. And he goes like, why don't you like him? I'm like, all right, let me just get up his fucking IMDb and see what movies he's been in recently.
He was in Crank.
Oh yeah, they're just
Crank's
all
fucking
action
awesome.
movies. Oh, okay.
The Meg, a movie about a giant shark.
Yeah, the B movie. Beekeeper.
Oh god, the fucking beekeeper movie. Jesus Christ.
The depiction of dad movies.
Yeah. The new Bruce Willis.
But there's also shows that the older me, the younger me, I should say, would not appreciate, like Wonder Egg. I fucking love Wonder Egg, but I also hate the way it ends. It's so bad.
Oh, we love the way it ends.
Why? Why do you?
It's great.
Okay, why?
Well, she rejects the call. Like
It's
she's just
interesting.
she's just like a girl, right? You know, she's just like a person, and then they drop all this shit like Thanatos and like the death drive and shit. And like, oh, you need to save your cyborg friend who's been kidnapped by these alien creatures that will murder you and kill you. And she's just like,
Nah.
what? Like, the fuck? That's a pretty.
I would say
that's
that-
a pretty normal reaction, I think, where you're just like,
I would say it's less so the ending, because I like that final episode overall. It's more so like when the show, like, because when we were watching the show, every episode we're like, all right, that was pretty good, but I'm waiting for it to like the hat to drop basically and get to suddenly just get really dark. And when that eventually does just happen, I'm like, yeah, well, it was nice while it lasted. I think that's like the like last 3 episodes, I think. But like the actual like final episode I thought was interesting because it gets back to what I appreciate about Wonder Egg the most, which is just these characters sitting in a room talking.
Yeah,
Well, so,
that's
like,
what I liked about it.
she kind of goes through her arc and like it's finished with the last episode, right? Like obviously the story, quote unquote, of like the whole system and all that, it's not finished. But she
Right.
like,
I mean, and
she
they also leave the
faces-
door open for a sequel.
Yeah, she like faces the teacher that's, you know, kind of abused her and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of goes through that arc, and she like kind of has her resolution, and like that's her story, that's her character arc. And then it's like, oh no, you gotta save your friend from the evil insect monsters that fucking murdered these fucking things and ruined your friend's life and all this shit. She's just like, why would I do that? Like,
Wow, that sounds horrific.
it's such a,
like
it's a
her friends are also like, yeah, nah, we're out.
well, it's
we
an
don't wanna-
interesting ending because it's
We've
like
been through this shit. We're not doing that crap again.
people talk about like Madoka, right, as being like, oh, this is like if Magical Girls were real, and like in some way it is, like, you know, you can definitely like kind of see it that way. Whereas you take like Wonder
Yeah, I
Egg
get it.
Priority, it's literally like introducing the system to like real people, and then be like, oh yeah, don't you want to like risk your life? And they're like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's like an anime predetermined that you kind of have to. It's like an obligation. Like the plot is
Yeah.
forcing you to do that because it's just like, it's your friend. You have to save her and stuff.
As
realistically,
expertly
I
demonstrated
would
in the
not do
Barbie
that.
movie.
The Barbie.
Yeah, the Barbie movies where it's like, Barbie, you have to leave Barbie land and go out into the real world on an adventure. And she's just like, I don't want to do that.
Like,
And
yeah,
then
you know.
The
I was
weird
actually-
Barbie's like, no, you have to do it.
I was actually thinking about it because I saw that video where you were talking about it and you said you hated the ending. I was actually thinking about how I kind of appreciated that about the ending, because it's like I originally had more of a problem with like the introducing, was her name Nemo or
Oh yeah, the
fucking pop
who
girl.
like keeps popping her lips.
Yeah, I originally
Yeah.
had like a more of a problem with that whole thing and like the introduction of like this whole
Yeah.
system and how it's all like
The
all this
big
bullshit.
reveal, and
Yeah.
the reveal is kind of
It's like
like,
a
oh, it's not
The
as
14-year-old with daddy issues.
But
yeah.
on further reflection, I appreciate it more with the ending because it almost puts you in like Ai's perspective, right? Because you're suddenly hit with like all of this fucking information, and it's like literally greater than you could fucking grasp, because it's just like, in what timeline is this happening in the future? When does this happen? Like
what year?
What even is this? Like a death drive? Where is this fucking like insect head? Like they're fucking clones? Like you're just hit with all this shit, and it's just like, I just wanted to help a friend. Like what the? And like you finally do help that friend, and like the actual reward for it is so like, because she doesn't even fucking remember you, and so it's kind of like, oh, I went through all that shit without really thinking about like why I wanted to do it, and just like jumped in, and like now it's like just dropped all this fucking baggage on me, and it's just like, oh, don't you want to like help these other people? It's just like, I want to live my life. Like, mind you, all the girls in that show are already dealing with a bunch of fucked up shit, right? So like they're already like not in the best place, and like now you're like, oh, don't you want to fucking help everybody else now? It's like, no. I can barely help myself
with us, so you kind of have to. No.
Yeah, it's like all this shit, the whole arc I just went through, I barely fucking managed that, and now you want me to fucking help other people? Like, no, like I'm done. Like, it's such like an.
That's what I mean. I feel like my 17 to 16-year-old self would fucking hate this show.
Yeah, it's definitely like.
Oh, there are problems.
Yeah,
there are problems, which is fine. I still like the show.
I liked it, but it was definitely one of those where, like, as I was watching it, I'm like, oh my god, this is the writing was very
shit.
I want to say like heavy-handed, or like I want to say amateurish, but that's like very
so well,
pretentious of me.
Like. Well, it does something so well, but then other things just not very well at all.
Yeah, like
any
the evils or whatever. It's just like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, but again, like anytime it is the four main girls just sitting in a room talking, having girl time, it's really good. That's like the best part of the show. But yeah, when they start explaining like these, like they start invoking these different sort of like psychoanalytic concepts and stuff, I'm like, stop.
I feel like it tries to be something a lot more deeper than what it should be sometimes. I don't mind if like you have depth to characters. Actually, I fucking thrive off that shit because I've been watching too many fucking isekais where we have one-dimensional fucking black-haired characters, and I'm really sick of it. So having like four girls having like deep psychological problems and how they go about it, I fucking thrived off that shit because it felt like I had characters that I wanted to invest time with and wanted to get to know, and that's what I got.
Yeah.
That was the strength of the show for sure.
Yeah,
that's all I have to say about
it. So I guess it's like one of those, if we're going to do like the My Anime List rating system of plot, characters.
Oh my god, why would you ever do this?
It's like, I don't know, the story for me I don't really care that much about. I really like the characters, and I kind of wish, and from what I understand, I think there was like conflict in terms of like the people working on the show having different ideas that didn't really mesh that well.
Yeah, sometimes it felt like there was like 3 people writing the show.
Yeah, or like 3 people writing who had different ideas on what the show should be.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with giving the show like a 7 or something. It's a very fine show.
Yeah. It's, if it came out that there was going to be more of it, I would probably watch it still, but
yeah, I would still watch it. I probably wouldn't like it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's I don't hate it. I'm just a little bit disappointed.
Fun fact, our first podcast was a podcast all about Wondering Priority.
Oh yeah,
really?
That was the Weeb Crew episode 0.
Yeah, not technically a Weeb Crew episode because it's just on
it's on
fucking Clear and Sweet's channel.
Yeah, Kai.
Shout out to Kai. But that is technically the first Weeb Crew episode.
So if you want to hear further elaboration, where we will just
I could tell that you had like
show.
a lot of pimped up opinions about Wonder Egg.
I got about pretty well in that. That podcast was like what, an hour and a half or something.
Yeah, not really pent up. More so like if it comes up, we will just start dumping. Don't get him started on Evangelion, please. Also, don't bring up Mamoru Oshi.
Don't bring up Magical Girls. Don't bring up Magical Girls. Don't bring up Fully Cooley. Don't bring up. There's a long list of stuff that I will just go off.
You bring up
hours
Isekai,
ago.
or are we going to talk about Isekai now? And just you have to do like 30, 40 minutes of that.
Oh, we could go all fucking day with that shit.
Okay. Let's
No.
talk about Isekai.
Okay. I'm down. Why not?
It is
You've got me-
interesting because, like, with your you don't talk a lot. I don't feel like you talked a lot about Isekai with your content. Like, you would,
I have talked about one Isekai show.
yeah, Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah, that's it. Oh no, I talked about ReZero.
You
Oh,
talk,
we don't talk about that. Oh, and SAO. But we
Well,
don't talk about those.
Sword Art Online's on Isekai.
Yes, it is.
Nah, it's like a VR MMO show. Like, what was that one that came out a while
Okay.
back? The
Dot
Shield
Hack?
Girl.
Oh,
No, shut the fuck up, Boomer.
you said it came out a while
Both
back. I mean, that's
Well, yeah,
You
no,
didn't
I mean
specify.
like a couple years ago, not like 20 years ago. Jesus Christ.
well.
You
You
didn't
didn't
get on me about
specify.
fucking bringing up Bin Shotan, and you're bringing up Dot Hack here as if any of the people born in between the years 2008 and 2010, who are our core demographic, and need I remind you, Mumi, would know what Dot Hack is.
Our core I'm pretty sure most of our viewers are like in their late 20s or like 30s.
Yeah.
At least
Oh,
according
that's
to
so
YouTube
embarrassing.
analytics. Yeah, you're in the boomer core.
You guys are listening to this instead of going out and getting a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cringe.
Actually, if you go by like our stats, like as a whole, not for the podcast, but like as a whole on our channel, we're
Yeah.
like almost 50% female.
That's because we
What?
like 90% of our views are coming from that one Comey short. So that doesn't count.
Oh, it shows in our analytics. It counts enough. I mean,
Yeah,
if I
we
take a
have a lo-
screenshot and I'm like, "Hey, look, you want to advertise?"
I guess yeah,
makeup
we
products?
could use that to mislead advertisers. I'm not opposed to that.
That's all I'm saying.
Like we just get sponsored by like a maxi pad company.
Yeah, 48.3% of our demo for all of our stuff is female, and
Hell yeah, let's go.
48.7 is male. So it's literally
we are-
like split down the middle.
We are the most feminist anime podcast on the internet.
yeah,
no
promote
one
that.
else
That's
is
a good way of doing it.
no
course,
one else is
We're the
more
most
woke than us,
feminist
all right?
podcast on the anime podcast.
What were we talking about?
Oh, eggs or
Isekai?
something.
Oh,
Isekai.
eggs.
Um,
I shouldn't have
but yeah,
said
you
it.
didn't talk. So it's interesting because like I feel like a lot of people just will mindlessly shit on isekai, but that's like, is that your would you say that's your favorite genre, or are you just like a big fan of it? Or
It's a genre that I've spent too much time indulging in,
Mhm.
other than harem shows.
I mean, harem shows are a bit more broad, I guess. And a lot of isekai are also
Harem
just
shows are
harem
like
anime.
a subgenre now.
Yeah, you don't really get. I mean,
Because
there
a lot of
there's still, like,
a lot of shows are just like isekai, and then there's a subgenre of like being like a comedy or a romance or a
Yeah.
harem.
yeah. I mean, you still get harem shows. What you don't get as much anymore. Like there's like battle harem shows. Like I mean, like the one that comes to mind is like High School DxD. Obviously, Data Live is still coming out because it's still incredibly successful. Which is in Japan at least. I don't think a lot of people.
I don't know how the
realize
fuck that show is still popular. I have to be
Um,
honest.
I mean, there's so many with so many girls, so many figures. I think there's like a gotcha game involved. There's like
Yeah.
all these different things going on outside
Have
of the
you-
anime
are you-
that then
you guys haven't
justifies
watched
the
the
anime being
recent
made.
Data Live seasons, have you?
I've only seen like the first season.
Oh my gosh!
I've never seen Data Live.
Please don't. Please.
No, I'd like to watch. I think I'd watch. I have not seen that first season in like 10 years, so I'd probably want to like watch.
I want to
it
go
from-
back to that first season. To be honest,
Really?
I don't know what fucking show I'm watching now.
I don't. I mean, I don't
It
really
is
know where it
spiraled
could be
into
going.
something disgusting.
I see.
Okay, disgusting is a very strong word, but like I don't know what the hell is going on.
I don't know what I'm
No, it's
watching
just
now.
like
You just look at the files, like, oh, this is a totally different show.
Honestly, that's how I feel. Like people were just fucking dying in this show. I'm like, this
Oh
is
my
not the
God.
show that I was watching 6 years ago.
I thought this was like a cute
I
show
thought it was
about
Data
a
Live.
guy getting
The main
women to fall
main
in love with him
tag
to prevent
of
the end of
Data
the
Live
world.
season 5 is a comedy harem mecha romance school sci-fi anime. and then the people are just fucking dying.
Oh,
Like this is not my cutesy rom-com harem show that I've grown to love.
Thought this was Date
like-
Alive, not Date Dead.
it's like Symphogear where
Dead
everyone just
alive.
talks about how like hype it is and like, oh, cute girls and like magical girls, cool songs. And then it's just, oh, people are also just being butchered left and right.
Well, I mean, that is Symphogear.
That is Symphogear.
Yeah, people get mutilated in Symphogear.
People do get brutally murdered in Symphogear.
It is a dark show.
I don't know. Isekai for me though is like it's not a genre I'm particularly like, I guess, fond of. I don't really like what I have seen. It varies. Like sometimes I enjoy it, other times I don't really care. But it's one that is at least always interesting to me, I'd say, because it's pulp media in my mind. So it's coming from a very like grassroots kind of place, and because it's made so like the way these stories are written, they're written like, you know, by amateurs, usually fairly quickly, just kind of like spur of the moment kind of stuff. And they end up being very, this is going to sound pretentious. This is going to sound pretentious, but
Go on, yeah.
they end up being very like ideologically transparent, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where it's
a
like,
lot of the plot and themes of Isekai are very in your face and told within the first episode.
well, not necessarily. I think like stuff that isn't necessarily like elaborated on, because I can watch a show like Tondemo Skill and just be like, oh yeah, Japanese food is the best.
Yeah, it's like that that hard contrast of like the native Japanese person or whatever typically, and the fantasy world and like the reaction, like the things that they tend to focus on immediately kind of tells you what kind of story this is.
Yeah, or one that I want to check out based on what I've heard, and I'll tell you what I've heard, is Realist Hero, because the plot of the story is a Japanese like civil servant. He like just a regular civil servant just gets reincarnated in another world, and then using his superior Japanese civil servant skills is basically able to like save this entire kingdom from bankruptcy. And there's a bit in the show, because everyone talks about like slavery and isekai and all this stuff. It's like, why doesn't like the protagonist working to abolish slavery? That's what he does in Realist Hero, but the way he does it is basically creates a state monopoly on slaves, but then also says that he effectively emancipates them without actually emancipating them. It's fucking strange, and I'm just like, this is very odd, and I kind of want to see how it all plays out, even if I don't necessarily care about like the characters or the plot or whatever, because it does stuff like that. I'm just kind of like, man, what was blood cooking?
Isekai does have a slave problem.
I think I did watch a little bit of Realist Isekai, whatever the fuck that long title was.
Yeah, so
How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom. How the fuck did I remember that? Holy shit.
There we go.
I didn't even finish that show. Oh my gosh. It was a very forgettable show for me. There's a lot of like monopolized like thinking going into it, which I think a lot of people would like, and I think you might like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was garbage, but you might like it.
I didn't like it at all, but I think you might like it.
I think you might like it.
It just wasn't really my type
lead
of show.
pipes like me can enjoy it.
I've seen your basement. I think slobs like you will enjoy this.
I've seen how you fucking set up your dungeons.
I mean, it's one of those things though. It's like, yeah, it's interesting, but am I like, because ultimately I do like to get something out of like the stuff that I watch, like emotionally, whether that be like, I don't know, it makes me feel very happy or very sad or a mix of both, rather than just kind of being interesting on like a sort of like academic, like cerebral, intellectual level, whatever the fuck you want to say. Like I can appreciate it on those levels, but it's not necessarily enough to justify why I'm going to watch something, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and it doesn't appeal to you where like you have that database built up where you can appreciate it.
Yeah, it doesn't
so
appeal
there.
to me. Yeah, much like how Ninja Kamui does not appeal to me.
I think it's all right.
It's
I don't
fine.
have a problem.
Have you seen
It's
any
just-
Ninja Kamui?
It's literally what we were just talking about, the Jason Statham movie.
It is. It really is. It is the most edgy. It's like I said, it's a new Tokyo Ghoul. It even has like the Tokyo Ghoul kind of mask.
That's just like a real mask though.
It is, but
The Tokyo Ghoul mask was just like, hey, you know that band Slipknot? I'm gonna make a whole manga / anime franchise around Slipknot.
that would actually be fucking awesome.
Do you think they'd play the Digimon theme?
Why? Wait, what? I don't get that reference.
You don't want
You've
to see
lost me with that.
you don't want to see Slipknot play the Digimon theme?
Oh, is that like a real video?
I don't know.
Oh, or are you just hypothesizing? Wouldn't it be
hypothesizing.
interesting?
I'm just asking
Then
questions.
absolutely.
Okay.
That would be so fucking cool. One of my favorite fucking like mashup videos online is the fucking Slipknot Dragon Maid opening. It goes way harder than it needs to. It has any right to. It's fucking insane.
To be fair, there are a lot of really good like anime mashup like that whole fucking there was like a whole channel I think it's Nyako something akin to that where they have
That
like
sounds like a fucking like hentai tag. I wouldn't know what it means.
Yako.
they have like the poolside identity thing where it's like Drake Kendrick's swimming pools with the ED for fucking like Chunibyo. You have like it wasn't Flav. I forget, there's like a mashup with like the fucking Dongo song, the ED from Clannad.
Oh yeah.
There's so many like good.
No,
There's so
do not
many
show me
good-
that. I will fucking have a mental breakdown.
But
Oh,
it's
yeah,
good.
it's,
It's actually
I can't-
good.
It probably
I can't
would be
say the
good,
name
but
of the
I'll get
title,
like
but it's,
PTSD and not enjoy it at all.
It's Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes, that's who. I was like, it was some name like that. I was like, I don't remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it
No.
goes. It's so good. It's like
so
genuinely moving.
No, I'm not even. I
It's-
don't even want to play the rest of it because that first little chime at the very start is giving me PTSD.
Oh yeah, I'm just like, oh no.
Dude, I am fucking broken from Clannad. I cannot do that. I'm gonna keep playing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep listening.
The rest of this podcast is just full Animix, just crying uncontrollably.
The Weeb
yeah.
Crew broke full anime.
Ah, yes, this fits the dungeon aesthetic perfectly.
We need more people crying in our dungeon, just weeping in the corner.
We just need to have, you know how they talk about like you need like a room tone or something. You need like that kind of
Yeah.
background ambience or something. We just need people crying as our room
Crying. We need more, dungeon sounds. I'm just gonna, when editing this episode, I'm just gonna have like occasional like drops of water falling in the background.
Or like a giant pole crashing.
I always was like, if we did like regular videos, I would always be so fucking tempted to just randomly put like Discord notification sound like very quietly in a video.
I did that in the last episode.
Oh, you did that in an episode.
Yeah, I did that in the Moai episode when something came up on screen. We didn't like directly say we're putting something up on screen, so I just put a Discord notification in there, and that's how I know I'll get people to look at the screen.
That's smart.
What if they're not looking at like the YouTube video though, and they just have something else open? They don't even realize that it was from the YouTube video.
Then they just got gaslit then.
I like it.
Smart.
Put like
Yes.
honking or like fucking police sirens or something like very quietly in the background. We just need to start gaslighting our audience constantly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's literally what I've been saying since like the first episode.
I think
That's how-
it's a good move because like people would still be confused, but then they can't look away.
That's how we build that parasocial relationship. You gaslight them into thinking we're the only good, like only podcast for them.
Like a fucking like possessive like yandere type thing. You're not listening. Hey guys, you're not listening to any other podcasts, are you? If you are, I'll fucking kill you, and I'll fucking kill the other. You're
such a naughty girl.
Alrighty.
Speaking of which, check out our guest's podcast.
No, don't do that. Dude,
don't throw my fucking stuff in here after you just said that shit.
Yeah, don't secondhand promote my content. I'll do that myself. Oh man,
what else we
dude,
got here
that
on
fucking
these notes?
clan ad shit. Fucking,
It goes hard, right?
doesn't it?
it's good, but I'm still emotionally broken.
Hey, at least it doesn't feel as distasteful as a Mount Erie Real Death Nightcore.
I mean, that's my preferred way to listen to that song. I don't know what you're talking about.
A song about a guy lamenting the death of his wife, and about how like he found like a backpack was delivered that his wife had ordered that came after she died, and it's like, oh my god, and then it's like, let's turn that into Nightcore, baby.
You gotta have like sick like techno beats underneath it.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it only had
like,
a guitar.
hey,
Okay.
Hey.
Oh. How am I supposed to get jiggy at the club?
Oh my god.
Turning Real Death into a club banger right up there with Not Like Us.
This is an anime podcast.
This is an anime podcast. So let's talk about the Drake Kendrick beef now that it's died down.
So I didn't look into like if you had a My Anime list or anything like that. You probably do. I didn't find it.
Dude.
I didn't look into it.
We tried
Otherwise, I would've-
cyberstalking.
That's
I would've
fine.
just,
You stalked my channel. You don't have to stalk my anime list.
Yeah, I failed as my Nardwar self today.
Yeah, cringe.
And in replacement of that, I'm just gonna ask what are like your favorite anime? So because we've already established you hate Evangelion, you hate.
I don't
You hate
hate
all-
Evangelion.
You
I'm
hate all
saying,
these, you hate good anime.
yeah, I hate good anime. Mushoku Tensei.
You like garbage like Frieren and Oshi.
Yeah.
But yeah, what are some of your favorite anime?
I really don't like talking about my favorite anime because I struggle to find shows that I think I could put on that pedestal.
You
Like-
never had like a show that just like really resonated with you that you would undisputably put there?
There's arguments for a lot of these shows. I feel like there could be a scenario where I put VV at number one.
Mhm.
I like VV too much, but it's also bringing up bad memories. It's the same thing with Clanad. Clanad is my top 10 show. Like, it's my number one after Story. But I could never go back and watch Clanad. It's too
That's
much of an
fair.
emotional roller coaster to
Yeah.
sit through 47 episodes of just pure sadness.
I wouldn't say it's 47 episodes of pure sadness. It's mostly
No,
like
it's like 20 episodes of pure sadness.
because it's like, I mean, the first season is pretty fun. I mean, there's like still some like sad moments and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really
and then
like
Clanad after Story just emotionally wrecks you.
yeah, like the last however many because they used
I
some
think it's
stuff
like 10
before.
episodes. Last 10 episodes.
Yeah, it would be like the last 2/3, I'd say. Once they basically like graduate high school and life goes on, and it's like, oh,
Like this
Life
gets me.
sucks.
This is just like getting me in the feels of like just after high school and just like loving life, and then shit just goes wrong, and it's just like why? Why'd you do this? Why'd you have to do that?
yeah, stuff that's like just like really sad. I'm trying to think like what would be like an equivalent for me. Gosh, I don't know.
Like something that like psychologically scarred you.
Psychologically scarred you. I don't know. The last
Redo of Healer.
I want to say the last couple episodes of Akage no On are probably similar, where it's like, fuck me,
Fuck this.
I'm getting fucking crushed right now.
I don't know. My favorite show changes all the time. Like currently,
That's fair. Yeah.
Currently, Mushoku Tensei is. I'm on that hype train right now because I'm also reading the light novel, and
Oh.
because I read the light novel before, like when that first season finished, I read the light novel, and I was just like, damn, this shit is fucking awesome.
Mhm.
And then and then Mushoku Tensei kept coming out, and I was just like, yeah, this is fucking lit. Fucking loving this shit. I don't think I would say it's my all-time favorite show though. It's definitely like a top 5. I like it a lot, especially this recent season. It's been really good.
That's fair, because it's like it feels like you're coming from like a different place from like Mumi and I, where like Mumi and I, we have like a fairly like definite idea of like, these are our top 10 anime. These are like what our 3x3s look like. And they don't really.
I had a
change that much.
3x3 once. Let me see if I can find it. What are your guys' like top one for you?
Evangelion.
Here we fucking go.
Evangelion.
I'm like Mumi, who's like top 10 is like normie elitist anime. All right, my favorite anime is Planetes.
Okay, to be fair, my top 10. Some of my top 5 were my favorite. I feel like my taste was just like established well before that was like the thing, right?
Right.
Like I watched fucking Evangelion and Fully Cooley in like 2004, 2003, or whatever the fuck it was. Like
little bitch baby. Yeah.
Nobody had. There was not a fucking like patrician.
You
taste
watched them
bullshit
before
or whatever.
A even existed.
Yeah, I watched before Chicken Run. No, I feel like hearing you talk about it, it kind of comes off like you really value like an emotional connection, and
when I
kind of fluctuate because like
when I think about it, like really think about it, there is one show that I think it's the one show that I could put on a pedestal for the rest of my life and say, yep, this is a show that's never going to fucking move from the top.
Mm-hmm.
And that's One Piece.
One Piece.
Well, that's because it's going to be coming out for the rest of your life.
I think
that's because it's never going to end.
When it ends, it's going to be at the top for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the case for a lot. I mean, because
right now, I think it is my top anime. Like, I've just like you said, I think I grow attached to a lot of shows very, like, I get an emotional connection to a lot of these shows that are in my top 10. I mean, and One Piece just stuck with me. I don't know how I sat through 1,000 episodes of One Piece, especially at the start, but it's just such a good show.
I mean, it makes sense because, like, you're saying, like, it seems like a lot of them fluctuate. If you're kind of like really resonating with them as like in like their pathos, like that would kind of wane over time because you're not like immediately experiencing it. So that would kind of
like recently, because when I look at my anime list, I'm going like, damn, this shit is fucking dated. I still have A Silent Voice and Your Name at 10, and I'm like, these are not 10 out of 10 movies in my opinion nowadays because I haven't watched them in a while, especially Your Name.
Yeah.
That would probably go down a point, to be honest. But they're still like really good movies, but like they're not in my top 10 currently because my top 10 is very outdated. I still have fucking like Your Boy Coming at 10. Like
hell yeah.
I know, but it kind of deserves to be there, to be honest.
Kind of based.
Yeah.
Based in Three Kingdoms
kind of based. But when I first started watching One Piece, like I knew that I would like that show, but I didn't expect it to be my all-time favorite show because it's a long show, and I get why people don't watch it because it's a very draggy show, and some people would probably do it like as a chore and stuff instead of like a commitment, because when I got through that like first arc, I committed to this show. I was just like, this is something special. I'm gonna see through it to the end.
You lock the fuck in, is what you're saying.
And then Dressrosa happened. I'm like, fuck this, man. This shit is too fucking long. It's so arse. Whatever. Then I stopped. I actually stopped before Dressrosa because I knew that Dressrosa was the longest arc at that point in time. And I was just going like, yep, I'm done. Taking a break. And then I went back onto it, and I'm just like, dude, what was I missing out on? Dressrosa is the best arc ever.
It's not basically how you've engaged with One Piece, Mumi. Is like you'll just like take long breaks and then binge a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's a fine way of going about One Piece because like it's not going to go anywhere.
No.
Like,
One Piece is a show. The one good thing about One Piece is that it's just always been around. There's always something. Yeah. There's always something that will gripe you back into watching it, like something current that happens, and you go like, "Oh, I need to get there." So then you binge through an arc, and you go like,
clip on
"I'm
Twitter
fucking exhausted. Like, never mind."
Yeah, the only thing I'm missing is like that kind of discussion of like, oh, did you read the recent chapter? What happened? And I don't really engage in One Piece on that level. Like,
no, me neither.
So
we don't have people in our lives to talk to One Piece about.
I mean, yeah, like I know the shit that goes on in the manga and stuff, but I'm not. I kind of just watch it to just see what there is and like see how it's going to be animated later on in life. That's how That's how I'm going with Mushoku Tensei now, because where it is in the manga is actually coming up in this recent episode this week. So after that episode comes out, I visually have no idea how the show is going to look. I've been told through very boring light novel dialogue, but I can't put a visual clarity on how things are going to look.
Right, yeah.
It's the same with One Piece. Like you visually see like how the manga is releasing and stuff. But you're just looking forward to those like new episodes and how they're going to go about it.
Yeah.
For the people listening, because this episode's definitely going to come out after that episode. We're referring to episode 7 of this season, part 2, whatever.
What is that, like the Turning Point episode?
Turning Point was the last
episode.
One. Yeah.
Okay.
It was part 6.
Did
6.
Did it Turning Point USA?
Yeah. Turning Point Gucci USA.
Did Charlie Kirk or whatever appear?
I could fucking do a whole nother podcast about Mushoku Tensei.
Mushoku Tensei is good. We've done.
It's always been fucking good.
We did a 3-hour live stream about Mushoku Tensei.
Oh yeah. Well, probably
I could do it.
Maybe
maybe
do like another episode on it later.
Podcast and talk about Mushoku Tensei.
It's one of those.
I don't know. Like Mushoku Tensei is coming out right now, and I want to rewatch the first season.
First season is really good.
Yeah, I really liked it.
It's one of those that's like real. I feel like it's really rewarding because it's like the reason why it's so rewarding is because it's like so focused on like the familial kind of relationships and like Rudy kind of progressing.
Guys, we're gonna introduce something that we've never done before. We're gonna have character development.
What?
We're gonna have a guy who just starts off being a fucking douchebag, but then he develops. He fucking learns from his mistakes. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine a show that did that?
Never been done before.
Yeah.
Then
there's fucking Twitter people, man. Holy shit.
Oh my
gosh, I could go on all day about that.
And we went on for 3 hours about that kind of shit.
Yeah, so we won't do that now.
Well, I mean, Mushoku Tensei is going to be around for a while too, because I think while the story right now, the light novels or maybe just the web novel has finished for Mushoku Tensei.
Yeah.
The story itself it's like part 1 is finished basically. It's doing like the JoJo thing or whatever, where it's gonna like.
Oh, great!
So it's really going to be revealed that, of course, Rudy is the Lisan Al Gaib. He is going to turn
he's
into
fucking Dio or something, or Joestar.
Yeah, he's going to turn into a giant sandworm monster like in Dune, commit intergalactic genocide, and then
as you do, yeah.
But I think it does like the story is going to like follow his kids or whatever and like their adventures, much like Anne of the Green Gables.
It's exactly like Anne of Green Gables.
So I don't know. It seems like a story that what the hell is the name of the author? Rifujin?
I don't know.
Whatever the name. It seems like he's like very interested in having like this like a sort of very long sprawling story as well. So,
which I think could be good for Mushoku Tensei because we're
it's
on
a big,
season 3,
story.
part 2, aren't we?
Season 2,
Part
part
2.
2.
Season 2, part 2. So we're
I love the split course system. It's definitely not confusing at all.
yeah.
No.
Fuck you, Attack on Titan.
Oh god.
Where the light novel is now, we're technically halfway through part 1 of Mushoku Tensei.
Okay.
So we've still got like another like 3 seasons, which I think could be really good.
It's a similar thing with like Vinland Saga, where it's like we've gotten 2 seasons of like 24 episodes apiece, and we're still I'm not even halfway, I think, through the manga. The manga isn't even over yet.
When will Dragon Ball end? Well, I want to know.
Did it already end?
Well, it did end, and then it came back.
Yeah.
And then didn't it end
And
again?
now it's not
Or
fucking
no, I think,
going away.
I think it's technically
Dragon Ball
still ended.
Yeah, didn't Dragon Ball the anime for Dragon Ball Super ended, but I think the manga is still going.
Manga's still going, and Akira Toriyama is dead.
Why we actually shouldn't be talking about Dragon Ball, because otherwise I feel like even mentioning it, Toei's gonna like send like assassins after us.
Oh yeah, true. Let's change
They'll
the subject.
never find us in the basement.
They'll never find.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
They'll never find us in our like Waco Fortress, Texas bunker.
Why would you dox us like that? What the fuck?
Yeah, it's just imagining like Toei and the ATF like trying to like raid our compound to free all of the guests that we just have as hostages.
Literally like the Coca-Cola company, but it's Toei.
Oh, there we go. We've come full circle. We're now back to Coke.
Back to
Yes. Throwbacks.
We've been going for a while. We could probably like. We have anything else we want to talk about?
You got anything more to ask me? Or my
I-
fucking social security? I don't have a social security.
No further questions, Your Honor. I rest my case.
Is there a social security system in Australia? I would assume. there is.
No.
No.
People could steal
No.
your identity if you wanted to, but no one gives a fuck.
No.
No one wants to be Australian.
No one wants to steal an
Australian's
Australian identity.
identity. Let's be honest.